What's good, everyone? Hello. How's everyone doing? Anyone that's in early? Hi. How are you? We'll just make sure everything's good and working before we thingy things up. There's been a couple of lag issues that I've been trying to iron out and deal with. But hello, everyone that's in early doors. We always appreciate that. Just making sure we've got everything up and running. Audio seems to be okay. If there's any problems, please let me know out the gate as quick as possible so I can fix it. But there's always a danger whenever you come in, whenever you start a stream without checking things first. I managed to check obviously a lot of the, I got all the things up and working. I just need to make sure that everything's fine. But hello, everyone that's in early. Brendan Rodgers is talking about the team now. There's a few changes to the lineups, and we'll run over them very shortly. But there's definitely a lot to play for. Obviously, for those that haven't seen. This is the Scottish League Cup, which is not league. It's not, it's nothing that's going to be 3 points based or anything like that. But we do need to win. We do need to put in a good performance. So realistically, Kilmarnock are going to probably field the strongest 11. I haven't seen Kilmarnock starting 11. I'm just loading Google so I can get the lineups for you now. And there we go. Right, let's have a little nosy at them. And yeah, right, okay, it's basically the starting 11 that took down Rangers in the league in the first match day of the season. Now, Rangers played yesterday, and they weren't particularly great. Let's just say that. They kind of squeaked past Greenock Morton. But Gagath's in about 9 minutes. I started a little early today just so I could fix any problems, so... Hey then, Joe, nice to see you, mate. But yeah, there's definitely a few key things for us as well. The big thing is obviously our centre-back pairing. It's the first time we've used these two boys as they are. We've got Novritsky and we've got Lagerberke as well, so I'm quite interested to see how these two play, because obviously Lagerberke, he's been very hyped since he's signed. There's a lot of talk about what he can do and what he can offer, but also the fact that Thiago Holm gets his first start of the season as well, his first out and out start I should say anyway, so I've changed a couple of things as well. The chat boxes are different and all that stuff as well. Miami won't win their first trophy, went to Pens. Oh, good for them. I seen the they were playing Nashville, right? I'd seen it before I went to before I started watching other shit, but if they managed to win, fair enough. It's because they have Lionel Messi, mate. If you have Lionel Messi in your team, you're sorted. But I'll run you through the lineups, everyone. Hello to everyone that's just popping in here. We'll start with the bench, because obviously the big ones that we don't really have too many striker options. So I guess it would make sense to just use these guys as rotations. I'd imagine what would happen is that Maeda, or maybe even Furuhashi, would get taken off, and then they would probably bring on Haskabanovic. That's probably why he's been pushed back onto the bench. But we've got Yang, Turnbull, and obviously a couple of other faces that we're familiar with in the bench at this point. But the big thing to note is obviously our two centre backs. The rest of the team's pretty normal. You've got Taylor, you've got Ralston. Obviously Johnston's still trying to get his full fitness back, but there have been pictures and videos of him running about in training, so the chances are we'll have him fit basically by maybe not the end of the month, but definitely the start of next, which is good for us for many of reasons. But obviously we've got Thiago Holm, McGregor and O'Reilly holding up the midfield, which is always nice. I think Turnbull might feel a wee bit hard done, but I think Odin deserves that shot to get a start, because he's been pretty impressive whenever he's came off the bench. And honestly, I thought Yang would have started this match too, but we've stuck with Ibarra, which again, not complaining about in the slightest, although I would have preferred to see Yang get a full 60-70 minute run rather than having that impressive 30 minutes off the bench. But our main man holds the fort as we would expect. Furuhashi does the job, but obviously KIllie are going to go with a predominantly regimental team. I'd say that would definitely be the way to go. How you doing, Robert, mate? Nice to see you. Shane, how you doing as well, man? Hoping for another win. Aye, fucking course we're hoping for another win. Anything else would be unacceptable. I appreciate that too, Shane. Well, I've got a couple people in early doors and all that, which is always nice and lovely. How you doing, Char? Nice to see you. Is the game actually live, or is it commentary? This is commentary, but the game itself is on Viaplay if you want to go and watch it. I can't live stream it on YouTube for copyright reasons, quite sad, but we move it. Yang's a super sub. Well, that's the way that I think that Brendan Rodgers is looking at it for now, and obviously with the way that Kilmarnock have set their shape, they're going to just play for anchor counter-attacks, you know what I mean? Like, they'll drop Lions back in. I mean, if any of you watched the Rangers game of match day one, that guy right there, good old Lions, he is a threat, especially when he sits deep, because McGuinness and Watson usually tend to push further up, almost like a 2, and then he sits in behind like that, so it's more like a triangle rather than a flat line. And that means that Dees can basically anchor out and they've got a 4 at the back or a 5 at the back whenever they need it. It's actually a very clever system that that Derek McInnes plays with. So realistically, it's going to be an interesting one, because we've seen Kilmarnock, they're unbeaten at the start of the season, exactly the same as us. They've got a lot to play for, improve, exactly the same as us. But the difference is we have the stronger team. Summit today, I love that name. How you doing, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone that's popping in and saying hello. But Kyogo scored as always. I wouldn't be surprised about it. The only major concern is the fact that we don't really, like I said, have that out-and-out striker replacement with O being injured, which is a bit of a shame. But I guess in terms of transfer news and stuff like that, we've had a couple of things moving in the background. We've got Daniel Podence potentially coming to Celtic. We've not made an initial bid, but they've given us a rundown, roughly about £9.5 million, with additional add-ons that could add up to about 11 million, which would definitely be Celtic's most expensive ever signing by a mile. But I don't know, I think it'd be worth it. It would give me Scott Sinclair 2016, 2017 vibes. I said that in the last video that I made. Thank you to whoever just subscribed as well, by the way. If you have public sub settings on, you'll get a nice little notification thing, and it'll play your rename and an animation down in the corner. But very good. How you doing, John? Nice to see you, man. For the Philippines, we love to see that. I know a fair good people in the Philippines, and most of them are solid cunts. So cheers to you, big man. Hope you're having a good time at that. But we've got a little bit of time to kill off, about 3 minutes until we are underway and live. So obviously prediction time makes sense to come in now, and I think for me, KIllie are a good side. Look, I'm not going to sit there and shit on them. I'm not going to be like 5-6 now. It's not going to be like that at all. I think, in all honesty, it's going to be a very topsy-turvy type of game. I think it's going to be like a 3-1, because I think Celtic will win, and will win quite comfortably, but it's a case of how much pressure can KIllie put on us early doors, because they might come out and score early on, which is why I'm thinking 3-1, because KIllie have a tendency to hit hard in the first 15 minutes of either half, and then they'll sit back in and hold themselves down. How you doing, Chateau? Nice to see you, man. Podence is a classy wee player. Exactly that, man. 4-1 Celtic, very good call, very good call. But the thing with Podence is the fact that he makes sense to me, because, like, I mean, the other shout right now is Ryan Fraser, which, as much as it's a sensible signing, Fraser's a notorious lazy bastard, and we do not need a lazy bastard at Celtic Football Club, no matter what. Let's be fully honest, it wouldn't make sense. I mean, yeah, you'd probably be able to get him cheaper than Podence, but the thing is, Podence is a Champions League calibre level player, playing at a potentially relegation favourite team, and Wolves are a good side. They'll do their best to try and keep a hold of him. That's why they're trying to push for the 10 million plus. But Celtic will hold their firm and just kind of go, right, we'll offer about 8 million right at the end of the transfer window. That's why I'm hoping he's going to be like the catalyst signing in the summer, on top of the good business that we've already done. How you doing, Mark? Nice to see you, man. It's just nice to see O'Neill Lennon getting some so obviously he's not at Armonia anymore, that Cyprus team, so it's nice to see him in commentary talking shit. But it looks like KIllie are going to actually get a good amount of their stadium packed out, which ain't bad for a League Cup match. Most people that live up in Kilmarnock don't really have much to do, so I'm surprised half of them are even sober enough to get up and go. But yeah, it's going to be a very good one. I think so anyway, because like I said, KIllie, they have the potential to spring a couple of surprises. It's just a case if they come out and do so. If Celtic can stifle it, and especially that centre-back pairing, because it's either going to be really, really fun to watch, or it's going to be, hearts and mouths a lot of the time. But I have faith in Nowitzki. He's proven himself to be a solid all-round player. The difference for me is Lagerbielke, because I know he's good when he plays in Sweden, and he was brilliant in the Swedish under-national, under 22s, 23s I think it was. He was brilliant in that system, but it's a different story when you're playing against mostly physical players in a mostly physical setup, because with the exception of maybe Greg Taylor, everyone else in front or behind him is a physical presence. You know what I mean? Lagerbielke's tall, but he's lanky. And if you're watching the game live alongside this, you'll see what I mean. But the walkouts have officially commenced. Flares are out. We love to see it. The Green Brigade going off. We love. But there's obviously going to be everything for Kilmarnock to play for, and if they're going to continue to play that anchor high line, that's totally okay, because again, we've seen it in games, specifically against Rangers. I'll always refer back to that Rangers game because that was the best example of how Kilmarnock can play when they're at full potential. But they will drop that 5 deeper in, especially at the start of the game, to put as much pressure, especially on that midfield 3 for Celtic, because that's what it's going to be. It's whoever wins that midfield battle has control of the ball, and whoever has control of the ball can make a lot of moves with it. There's the sun deciding to come out. That's nice. Right in time for kick-off. Any of these pie merchants. So they're known for pies and they're known for scrapey wins, let's say, but like I said, based on the team that we've seen fielded, I'm more than comfortable with it. Of course, the big thing is obviously, again, no Carter Vickers on the bench. It's kind of a no Welsh either, because he's been injured, although he's signed a contract and gets injured, what was it, like 2 hours later. But they, like I said, for Kilmarnock, the players you need to watch out for in this game: lmao, Brad Lyons, and I think his name is Kristen Ndaba, he's the new boy, from what I know. But obviously keep an eye out for their striker pairings, because they can rotate into 2s if they choose or want to do so. It's a different case if Celtic want to play with that anchor line and try and catch them out. But we've got that flat midfield 3, which tells me that McGregor's going to anchor, and O'Reilly and Holm will basically just kind of rotate around that midfield area just to kind of open up wing spaces. My idea is that realistically we'll get crosses in, low crosses, because Maeda isn't tall, and you can tell based on that back line that they're leaving that flank exposed, so they're going to just play to defend crosses and corners, if that makes sense. And Furuhashi, he's a brilliant first time shot type player, so if Maeda and Abala can get into the byline and ping it in with a lot of pace, we're in for a good stead. But we'll go to... well, I need to get us a refresh actually, so we can... there we go, because we're underweight. And immediately Kilmarnock are going to try their best to shimmy it, but Ralston's immediately going to put some pressure off him and do what's necessary. Let's hope the difference, the defence has been able to develop some sort of understanding. That's going to be the big question. If obviously Lagerbielke's settled into the system and can just play, click and go, and it's going to be an interesting one. We're really risking a Champions League campaign without another goalkeeper, but there is still plenty of time. There's about 10, 11 days and nearly 20 million in the bank. Kyogo's been taken down there. I think he tripped himself up, I'll be fully honest with you, and he's staying down, which is not a good sign less than a minute into the game. I'll be fucking real with you. It was a very interesting one. It was a good initial ball through from Holm. He does kind of get tripped up, he just falls onto his knee. He's up and moving, but he's not exactly in... it's probably a dead leg type of hit. One of those ones where you need to take a minute or two just to work out your muscle. But the thing is, like they will do a lot to try and cause some problems, Kilmarnock, because they're a physical side, and defensively that's going to be their thing. I hope Celtic do well in the Champions League. They damn well fucking will, as long as we get a respectable group. That's the big thing. We'll be good on the Pish Council 3G pitches, because they're used to it in Sweden for the winter. And that's probably why he's got a start. He's like, yeah, I'm used to these pitches, I'm good, I'm fine, roll with it. Although KIllie do have a corner kick here, and they're trying to take it quickly, but our captain was away at it and just kind of stepped out to mark him. It's a very interesting system that Kilmarnock have played, because obviously McInnes has got them playing some very fine football. The difference is they're not really set piece based, and I tell you what, that could have done something. I think that was maybe Ndaba at the back stick that kind of flicked it on. It was. And there's that physical presence. It was a very awkward one. He could have headed it or tried to go for the header, but didn't quite get it to do so. Pitch looks awful. Well, yeah, I mean, I suppose that's kind of going to be the case. I mean, these pitches I play on at the where I live, near St Andrews. Literally the exact same types of pitches. They've no place in the Scottish top tier league. I don't think that's the case. I think Lagerbielke's going to kind of be like Nowitzki. He's coming for a smaller league, but it's known for physicality. In the Champions League, that was a big thing, especially last year on defence. It was never really, you know, great to watch. Our attack was fine, our defence was the big problem. So it's nice that a lot of our signings are defensive focused. And speaking of Lagerbielke, he's put under a wee bit of pressure from Watkins. Doesn't quite put him under enough pressure though, and it will be able to be punted away from Nowitzki. Maeda can't win the first header. This is the good hold up play from lmao that we're talking about. Good header away from Lagerbielke to just about buy some space. Abada lays it across the floor for Anthony Ralston. What's the Brickett going to do? Goes backwards. And we'll just reset the shape again. So it's pretty much sort of like what I was expecting Kilmarnock to kind of do. Play with that high anchor line, but the second we break theirs, in behind, and hold up with that 5 at the back. I've got to say, it's a very good formation for KIllie, but it's a very demanding formation as well. So it's just a case of how long they can keep it up for, because the first 15-20 minutes will tell you everything you need to know about this game. Maeda does well to header that and keep it in play. Ball into the box, Kyogo nods it on, doesn't quite find anyone. Thiago Holmes gathered it eventually. O'Reilly's going to chase that one out after McGregor gets bundled over, gathered. Lagerbielke spreads the floor back to the captain and we'll try and build out for the back again. Here's Taylor. Doesn't quite decide to go inside. Eventually goes outwards and Maeda has 2 or 3 marking him. Oh, there's a good ball though for... Is it? Oh, is it? How have you missed? Kyogo's missed an absolute sitter. Why is it a theme with him to do at least once a game? It is a perfect ball across from old and Thiago Holm as well. But Kyogo, I think he slips as he goes to shoot and he just kind of bundles himself to the ground and it's... Oh, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. I mean, it's exactly what I was hoping to see. Get it to the byline, ping it across, try and force that first touch shot, but... That's one of the few times where you can say Kyogo just wasn't expecting it to roll through to him as easy as it did, and he just... bad snapshot. Can't fault it though. Ralston will recover from that punted out throw in and eventually goes back with Joe Hart. Come on, the KIllie. I love to see that. Well, it's nice to have a KIllie fan in chat as well. He's playing alright so far, but it's all Celtic in the opening 5 or 6. But as I say that, KIllie do spread the floor out left and let's see what they decide to do with it. I thought he was going to keep it under control, but I was very much incorrect. And Daba can't just quite keep it under his chest and it's just going to bounce out wide. It's definitely interesting. Because Celtic are intent on opening him up by going through the middle, out wide, in. It's very much a triangle based game right now because there's Lyons, he's sitting in behind like I said he would. It makes sense, especially when you're against a team that's going to be counter attacking like Celtic usually are. But it's back for our defenders and now Nowitzki spreads it for Lagerbielke. Let's see where he decides to go. Back towards the Swede. It's nice to see them trying to play some quick passes together, but KIllie are just holding out that middle line. Eventually goes back. Nowitzki's going to let his man run onto him. I thought he would have tried to take it past, exactly like Nowitzki just did there. That is much more like it. And here comes Anthony Ralston, gets past one, gets taken down, but it's gathered by Abada. Can he swing forward now with it? Israeli goes out towards that left hand side. Here's Thiago Holm, tries to hold up the play as much as he can. Eventually McGregor gets it and they'll be able to try and find some shapes and options here. Goes out and then goes back. It wasn't exactly the pass I would have taken there, but it's under control and comfortably so. There's a good ball. What a ball indeed, by the way, and it's a shot straight to the goalkeeper. But Matt O'Reilly's taking touch was very, very good. It almost worked out for us. Lovely ball from Lagerbielke as well, by the way, straight through the KIllie midfield. Kyogo then ran it just perfectly through. Oh, that was a lovely touch on for Kyogo actually. It buys O'Reilly so much space and he hits it hard, but doesn't really put any direction on it and it just kind of straight into the goalkeeper's arms. Not really going to cause too many problems. It's going to be punted forward though. KIllie are on the chase, but guess who else is? Maeda. It's not really going to cause him too many problems, and the keeper's just going to expel the play out wide. There's lmao going forward with it, and there's a chase on between Watkins and Hart. Hart's going to get there first. Taylor holds it up. Thiago loses out, and here comes Kilmarnock. There's their first shot on target, and it's very similar to O'Reilly's. The power was there, but the placement definitely not. That could have been bad for us. It's just a very loose touch from Thiago Holm to give it away, and I think... Was it Watkins that got onto that? I'm pretty sure it was. It was a very respectable chance, but good, really good pickpocket for Armstrong to try and get in behind and cause problems. I'm feeling good seeing Kyogo getting chances early on. Definitely scored in this match, mark my words. Yeah, to be fair, again, it was just a literal sitter. There was no easy way to put it. It was an absolute sitter, so if he can get a chance even 10% as close as that, he'll score it. It's just the type of player Kyogo is. If you put him 2 yards out, chances are he'll find a way to miss, but if you ask him to hit one for like 35 yards on his weaker foot, top bins, he'll somehow do it. Because this would have been the perfect type of game to test out Yang, you know. But obviously with Yang being on the bench and all being injured, it kind of takes away the... For fuck's sake, Armstrong stole it back again. And KIllie have taken it down. He's been taken down. I'm not sure if there's a penalty call there. I need to see a replay of that because it looked like the bodies just kind of collided with each other, but it could have been a penalty call. I'm not going to say until I see a replay. For now, Celtic have been let off with it and we can go forward. That could be okay. Gets it in for Taylor, who's more or less just switched positions with Nowitzki. It's the loosest ball I've ever seen, and that's really made Celtic a little nervous, you can tell, because we're now just starting to fold our way back in quicker and quicker. I don't like that. Here comes Armstrong. Stolen by McGregor. Good defence for him, but it's not really gathered by anyone else. No one in the... O'Reilly's not trying to cover any spaces, especially on that left-hand flank, and it's giving them chances. And Daba's got it forward. Eventually they get it under control. There's Dees. Goes into space. It's a good hold-up touch from Lyons and still has it. Gets it out towards another man, and it could go out left here. Does eventually go for it. Cross in. Somehow he heads it and kills it at the same time. I think it might have came off a Celtic body. Just kind of bounced between them. But KIllie have won the ball back here again. And this is what I'm talking about with our high line working out very well for them. They've played a very good counter-attack system, and it's just more or less about if Celtic can break that first line. He's been taken down there, Thiago Holm. That should be a foul. And there's, yep. But that ball in behind from Armstrong initially by that chance. They're trying to... No, right, okay, I was going to say it looked like they made contact, but yeah, Watkins just kind of fell over looking for the penalty claim there. Nothing was in that. But I'll tell you what, that's kind of the exact type of foul that was given against Rangers yesterday. Or against Greenock yesterday, I should say. Did any of you watch that game? Because it was god awful, and the fact that Rangers are meant to be putting the fear of God into us is quite funny, considering the fact they had to cheat to beat Greenock Morton, you know. Oh, that could have been awkward. It's dealt with by Mayo and played forward, and he's left it for Armstrong to chase onto, but Nowitzki's more than happy just to let that one roll all the way out, more than fine. Where is the player? Oh, yeah, he still plays for us, Chief. The difference is he's injured right now. He's got a minor injury that he's kind of recovering from him, so he'll be out for a while. That's why I was saying Haskavanovic is probably going to get minutes today, because they'll take Maeda or someone off, or maybe Furuhashi and put him out left. Or maybe take Furuhashi off, put Maeda in central, and then put Haskavanovic out left, or Forrest. So there are options. I wouldn't worry about it too much, but oh, that's got to be a foul, or at the very least a throw in. The linesman goes for the letter, says throw in. Is there VAR in the cup? There is, yeah. That's why they double check to be 100% sure. If it's at an SPFL top flight ground, Kyogo just ran too far ahead of it there, and Taylor tries his best to get there and recover the run. It's going to be a throw in for Celtic, but again, another good ball across. That time it was from Abada. Taylor's going to throw it back towards the big pool. And Gustav's just going to swing it around, make sure there's no real issues with it. Ball across from Taylor. Let's see where that one goes, in middle. We'll have a lot of support, Kenlon. Makes sense, was wondering where it was. Thought Brendan had a problem with him. Oh, he absolutely did not, Shane. I think it was just, I think it was a hamstring injury, if my brain can remember right, but it wasn't a major one, so should be a foul for us. The referee eventually gives it. McGregor's wanting words. But that physical presence for KIllie seems to be holding firm now. There's been one or two awkward chances that Celtic have been able to make, but you can't really say that KIllie haven't had chances either. But like we always say, the first 15 minutes of any game is always the most awkward. Let's see where that one goes, out towards the right hand side, deflects off the inside of a... I think Ralston just didn't get himself under control the maybe would have wanted to. Kilmarnock have got a little bit of time to decide what they want to do with it. Yeah, I mean, they're showing that McGregor foul again. It definitely isn't a car defence, it's just a collision of bodies. Cleared away by Diaz. Celtic do win it back, but in turn KIllie just put themselves in it. They're doing exactly what they did against Rangers, and I'm liking this because it means we're in for a good game. They're putting bodies around every single man that's got it. There's that long ball forward and there will be a chase on, but the number 12, as quick as he is never really going to get to that one. And Celtic will be able to set their shape and try again, but the fact of the matter is we need to stop really throwing ourselves at them now. McInnes knows that Celtic's strengths basically come down that wing, come down the flank, or wherever it may be. KIllie just decide to head it back towards the goalkeeper instead, which is totally fine. They'll look to reset their shape. Interesting. Pushing them up. That's not exactly what I thought KIllie would have done at this stage in the game, because usually they start to sit deeper and deeper in after about 15 minutes, but polar opposite here, they're starting to push themselves out more and more. I think they could be seeing something in Celtic's defence, but for now Celtic are going to try and run forward, and that was a good 1-2 exchange. But it was never really going to do anything, and KIllie will just punt their lines clear. They're going to call a foul up for us. Watkins is intent in getting in behind and hassling anyone that's on that defensive kind of touch. It's an awkward one, very much an awkward one. Do you live near Celtic's home ground? I live a train ride away from it. If that puts it into... I'm from East Glasgow, or from outside East Glasgow. Like if you go outside Glasgow a couple of miles, that's where I be. Well, I've been to Celtic Park plenty of times, I can assure you. It's a beautiful ground. KIllie have a free kick from about the halfway line, and they could send it long if they wish to, but I'd honestly be surprised. If I was in KIllie's boat right now, I would exploit the fact that Ralston's a bit slow, get it down that left hand flank and get it in behind, because that's where most of them, that's exactly what they're going to try and do. Because it's what Aberdeen tried to do against us in the last match, where they just exploited that left hand side, because they knew Ralston, while he's he's brilliant physically, definitely not so much when it comes to pace, you know what I mean? Do you watch the WWE? I used to watch a hell of a lot of it when I was younger. I kind of watched little bits of it every now and then. The last time that I was like proper into it was right before Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker. That was back when I was like a teenager. Here's a good exchange play out wide. Let's see what happens here. Ball in. It's just, yeah, it's going to bounce up off of Diaz, and there's not really going to be too much extra work required for Kilmarnock to get that one clear. Kyogo does not look happy. Like, Kyogo usually has like an energy and a bounce to him, and you can see a little bit of passion, but he's just, shoulders down, head down. He doesn't look himself for now. There he is though, and it's eventually shot towards goal, but it was very minimal in terms of the power side of things, and it's just going to be easily gathered by the goalkeeper, and he'll try and spread that play. If I ever decide to go, then absolutely. I mean, the thing is, because I cover most Celtic games, it's kind of hard to pick games that I would like to go to. But now maybe if there's like a Scottish Cup match or something, and it's not like a game that would particularly do well on a YouTube stream, then yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. But Flash, who's one of my moderators, he goes to basically every home Celtic game, regardless of what competition it's in, and even a couple of the away ones. But I'd like to see a wee bit more from us on the attacking front, because we're getting into the midfield space. He's very good. Like Thiago Holmes playing very well, but I can't really say too much for O'Reilly, which is very surprising considering the fact how good O'Reilly has been at the start of the season. But he's just kind of, doing that. He's not really making a lot of movement, although I take that back because he's won the ball and managed to get out for Dyson. Let's see where that one goes. Greg Taylor should go central here, does eventually go central, but after giving KIllie enough time to cover the man. McGee committed really good commendations to KIllie. There's a shot for range. It looked a lot more closer than it did initially. Can't really fault the fact they wanted to just have a crack and see what happened, and tell you what, if that went in for Lagerbielke, that would have been a hell of a debut goal, but not quite Sviatchenko levels. Or was that Nowitzki that had the track? Oh, it was Nowitzki that had the crack, even better then. How you doing, Gaz? You must be feeling a hell of a lot of luck after yesterday. We were having a conversation about it, Joe. Oh my god, like even Gaz admitted it was a hell of a thing. How you doing, Stephen? There's a lot of Stevens, we love to see it. I'm just going to call you Kudia for the sake of ease, but nice man, nice to how. I'm not doing too bad, how's yourself? Is that a throw for us? No, it's the, it came off Abada's leg, right, go kick KIllie then. And there's just a few sagging shoulders. I'd like to see them perk up a wee bit more, especially from Kyogo, man. Just get in behind your space and do what you usually do. Brendan Rodgers looking sexy as fuck as always. Man will wear a suit to anything. Probably wears a suit to Tesco's. Oh yeah, yeah. Gaz was not a happy chappy by any means, man. But I mean, sometimes you just need a bit of luck to get over games. You know what I mean? It's one of those. Ball's going to bounce around a little bit. Fair play to the KIllie boy to keep that in. I'm not sure what one that was. I'm trying to claim it was a corner, but I can't honestly see where the ball changed direction. Quick exchange. Just going to bounce around. Ralston Carver just about covers it. Jesus Christ. Yeah, they are really trying to prey on that left hand side of the field. So in return, Celtic are just trying to go straight back up the left side, our left hand side of the field. It's a very stretched two teams right now. They're very much not quite in the. Oh no, that's bad. That's bad. That's bad. Don't open up space for him there. It's a great take, and KIllie are really trying to press into the box here. They're in the final third. Celtic eventually gather it, hold the ball up. And that's where Ralston's strength does come in, you see. Eventually manages to kind of roll it back to Nowitzki, and eventually Joe Hart punts it clear, and that's actually going to find Abada. Lovely first touch, oh my god. Kills it and touches it over two Kilmarnock defenders that are trying to close him down at once there. That was beautiful. Here comes Lagerbielke on the defensive run though. Gets it out wide for Dyson. That's a handball, surely. Referee's just going to wave it on, so Dyson will deck his man and buy a foul. But my head is now asking where the hell the foul was for the clear and obvious handball. I mean, doing that is not going to hide it, but yeah, KIllie get the foul. Hope for another good result today. Exactly that. If we can keep ourselves pressed, if we can keep ourselves going, then things are looking up for us. I would just like to see us get the ball in behind a tiny bit more. None of the Simons did their jobs at shit. Different reason, different season for us. Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the signings we've got today, Lagerbielke's having, half cracks for range on a debut match, you know what I mean? Oh, that is beautiful for Maeda. He loses out low from Armstrong. He's been very good, that fucking Armstrong, at picking out just perfectly timed 50s. Tries to get the ball in. It's going to bounce up, and Taylor just decides I'd rather prefer that one be away from us. And Thiago Holmes just going to get it out, preventing it being a corner, goal kick instead. But Fair play to KIllie. Rather than shrinking away for the game, they're trying to grow into it a hell of a lot more. I just realised there's a bunch of people that have subscribed. Thank you very much. Very much appreciated. If you have public sub settings on and you subscribe, you get a little Callum McGregor lifting up a trophy, which is always nice. As the Celtic game went so far, it's been a very mixed bag. We started the game off pretty good. Kyogo missed a very open chance as Kilmarnock have a half crack for about 40 yards out of a deflected corner, but as good as McInnes has been this game, I don't think he was ever going to get... Was that McInnes? I don't even know if it was McInnes. It was McInnes. Like, you could see what he was trying to do, had it back hard across the keeper, but it was never really going to do anything. But we've played okay, guys. It's been a mixed bag, like I said. Kyogo's missed a big chance at the start. KIllie have had one or two quick breaks that could have been more dangerous if it wasn't for good defensive placement. And it's just one of those games where no one's deserving to be winning, but no one deserves to be losing. The scoreline matches what it's showing so far, I think, obviously. It would be nice to see us get a goal before the end of the first half, because the longer this game goes on and it's 0-0, the more KIllie will feel that they can get something out of this game. And Taylor has just left that ball that was right towards him. That is foolish. And I could actually hear Maeda yell at him there, like, what the fuck? And Daba does well to hold the ball up, goes back towards Diash, and he'll try and cover it. McGuinness tries to spread it, but no one's going to get back there quickly enough, and Ralston's going to be able to buy a throw-in. Nowitzki's even had a bang at goal. That's the thing, everyone's having cracks. There's goals for all over the pitch in our team, that's the big thing. Friend Jonathan supports Celtic. Well, big shout out to Jonathan, Jane. I really think it will be tough for us to keep second this season. St Mirren have improved a lot. Aye, but St Mirren haven't improved to the point where they're better than Aberdeen and Hearts. That's why I'm saying they're not even... Maybe top 6, but not top 3 by any means. Oh, that could have been awkward. Fair play for Hart for keeping himself away there, because it took a weird bounce off, I think, Lagabil Kane. Straight into the hands of Joe Hart, thankfully, but it's another good attacking chance from Kilmarnock. They're really trying their best, and you can always respect a team that gives their all. We need to start breaking through their midfield lines. If we are going to expose the wings the entire time, then Kilmarnock know that they just need to defend the wings. So stop mixing it up, Celtic. Just add a couple bit more, you know, unique passes. That's all I need to see. It just isn't a very good playing surface. Well, that too, it's a very wishy-washy type of pitch. I mean, you can literally see the individual marks when they fall over. It's... Yeah, I mean, I've played on better pitches at Sunday League level, let's just say. Exactly, your friend Jonathan is a top man, exactly that. Maeda's got this one under control. Let's see where he decides to go with this. Spawn across, nice, we love to see it. There could be movement up on that right hand side. We're trying to just about keep him under pressure, but Ndaba seems intent on marking out a batter. There is a deflected cross, and it's going to be a corner kick for us. A lot better for Matt O'Reilly. He's trying to get into space now. Scotland playing next month, damn fucking right, and that's when we secure ourselves a, you know, yeah, we get 2 extra wins out of 2. We're perfect in that group so far, by the way. We haven't fucking lost a game. Well, that good. And I couldn't agree more, Shane. We do need one before half time. There is a corner. It's bounced around. It's stole out beautifully by McGregor to kill it dead. Still inside their box and dangerously so. Abada's been floored. Referee says no foul. McGuinness is kind of forced into that back corner and eventually just punts it clear. Nowitzki will let it roll past him in it. Celtic, yeah, Celtic, but a goal a pocket would take the pressure off. It would just do a lot to stave us, keep it comfortable and composed, and obviously with the fact that KIllie are trying to grow into this game more and more, we need something just to stave them off a little bit. There is that ball in towards the D. It doesn't quite find anyone. Headed up. Who's it going to be gathered by? It's going to be gathered by Lions. And Lagabilke wins the initial claw. That's fucking awkward for McGregor though. Why are people slipping on that pitch so much? I know it's 3G, but Jesus Christ. And they've given a foul for Kilmarnock for falling over. Right, that makes perfect sense because on the fact that they were allowed to get away with it like 3 minutes ago, but we move. watch the positional running when we're going forward and notice our players in the ball and picking up on this. We're not sharp enough. That's what I'm saying. We're not using the midfield space at all. Like, we get into the area, ping it out wide, and as soon as we have an option, is this sun going to fucking... Hold on, let me... I'm going to just turn that later, because I'm now white as shit. Why does the sun wait until I start streaming to do this push? But aye, they're playing into that midfield space and then trying to pop it out, but they need to get in central and use that space. Because they're going out to cover the wings and leaving 2 defenders against 1 striker, and Kyogo's good enough to take it past one of them. Greetings from KIllie. Paul, nice to see you, mate. How you doing, man? Players running into space and folks just sitting there with their fingers up their arse. Exactly. I need to see a little bit more fake, especially O'Reilly. But here, oh, Kyogo stole that back. Go on, son! Kyogo! I think that's either came off the goalkeeper at Mach 10 or the post at Mach 10. But it was a brilliant effort from... Oh, we still got it though. Ralston's been floored. That will be a foul and probably a yellow card. Ralston's kind of on his knees there. That was a sore one, but let's see how good this chance was for Kyogo, because he does brilliantly to steal that back. And it's a strong leg for the goalkeeper that keeps it out. I knew it was one of the two, but... Damn, that could have been good for us. That could have been really damn good for us. I hope the wee man retires at Celtic. Oh, damn fucking right. Celtic, even if we're by the odd player, I don't disagree with it. We're definitely the better team. That's what I will say. But Kilmarnock are hanging in there and they're using our weaknesses to great effect. Here's a ball in from Matt O'Reilly though. Oh my Ada, if you can just control a touch, bad. He controls that. He's got basically 10 fucking seconds to have a free crack at goal. Can't do so. It's just pointlessly swung back in. Going to be cleared away by their number 5. Gathered, and now our number 4 can take a run at them. Vritsky rolls it out, gets it just under control for Lagerbielke to take a run. There is that midfield pass that Lagerbielke's tried to find once or twice. Got the hiccups, we'll love to see that. They're not... Celtic are not playing anywhere between... I'd say they're playing like a 5 out of 10 right now. We're doing enough to keep Kilmarnock engaged, but we're not really making chance after chance right now. We're not playing that counter-attack of fluid football that Celtic are really known for. I think Kyogo knows he's offside there, yeah, so he's just going to hold his run. And KIllie will be able to just reset their shape, go back to the goalkeeper and chill out. Kyogo will be a Celtic legend like Nakamura. But if he's here for another like 2-3 seasons, and he averages about 10-15 goals in that time, yeah. Got a tenner. To be fair, Garrett, we're backing Kyogo to score. He could have scored in the second minute. That's the frustrating thing. This game could have been way more comfortable if he just took that first chance. Centre halves are looking solid together, can't lie. I mean, Lagerbielke has been solid. There is not a single thing I can say bad about him. He's just doing exactly what Carter Vickers would usually do, and that's what like I've watched that last video that I made about Lagerbielke. That was the big thing that I said that I liked about him, is the fact that he can play both centre-back positions and not complain about it. If you want him to be that anchor defender or that ball-playing defender, he can do it. So, I like it. It was good business first, but Nowitzki's going to try and run this one forward, and speak of the devil, he will arrive. There's Lagerbielke. He'll take a run out towards that left-hand side. Taylor. Let's see what happens here. Hart's going to just spread the play. I would like to see a lot more from the midfield. Generally getting frustrated at how much we're trying to cut them out of the play right now. Because it's literally, defender gets it, goes to the winger, winger runs. McGregor can dribble, boys, you know this, right? So give him the ball and let him work. Still in that wing space though. Taylor has looked clueless a lot of the time, man. He's just throwing balls forward for the sake of it. That was a great touch from Maeda, in fairness though. But Maya's just not really going to put too much pressure on him. Just enough to kind of get it away for a corner. Yeah, quite literally. Yeah. Put it better in another world. It was an absolute beautiful touch. You have the faith. Aye, exactly. even when Kyogo isn't at his best, he's still good enough to score goals. That's when you know you've got a hell of a striker on your hands, when you can do shit like that and relax. But since we're about half an hour or so into this game, of 35 minutes if you want to be technical, right now it's the 33rd and a half, but yeah, I need to plug. Sorry in advance, but if you enjoy this sort of stuff, you can like and subscribe and all that good jazz. It helps out the channel, and if you're watching this as a VOD, which it will be up afterwards, hi, hello, thank you for the view. That's all. Plugging over back to game. Team should be relegated unless they put grass down. Livingston are quaking in their boots as soon as you said that, mate. But it's baffling how many teams in the top 2 divisions of Scotland play on grass pitches. It is actually baffling, because you've got like fucking Hamilton, Kilmarnock, Livingston. I mean, St Johnstone even played on a fucking hangy pitch for a year. That's a good win. Ralston should have maybe have done more with that, but it's not really going to cause too many problems. Nowitzki will just kind of donk it up. KIllie still intent on playing that high line. You've got to give them respect for not changing their tactics too much. They're just, oh, but that's a good tackle. Here comes Kyogo. Gets pulled over. Referee eventually decides to pull it back. I was going to say, if he wasn't given anything there, I would have been very surprised. Should be allowed to have artificials, especially in a top flight league. Livingston will likely get relegated any roads. Who knows? Martindale Masterclass incoming. Well, it's not just that as well, Shane. It's the fact that if you've heard some of the other business, we're trying to get Abada and Hatate to sign extended contracts, which is very good for us. I would love to keep Hatate on an extended contract. You have no fucking idea how much I would love to see that happen and stay. By the way, do you like the new chat box thing? I made like a new chat box thing. I just changed the settings because it looked a little bit better. So we ain't got too much time left in this half. I'd say with added time about 10 minutes. Wasn't Hearts looking at going down the artificial route at some point? I think they were talking about it, but I'm glad that they decided not to, because I don't even think they would be able to compete in Europe with a team like that. Or with a pitch like that, I should say. What the fuck am I saying team for? I'm just going to say this. Oh. He did well against Man United yesterday. That must have sucked for you though. Like, that's like your ex coming back into your life to slap up your current girlfriend, you know what I mean? Feel bad for you, Virtual. Although Rodgers does not look very happy. He's starting to do the whole arms unfolded, pointing about. Right, he's getting serious now. But I really do want to see 1 or 2 actual chances, because we're making half-cut chances, but no clear-cut ones. I would like to see a bit more in the consistency going forward. Now here comes Lagerberg. What's he going to do? Hopefully not up the wing. It goes straight up the wing. However, Maeda's a goat and manages to get a fucking beautiful touch, but Taylor once again not switched onto the play. And you can see it in Maeda's face. He's just like, that is the 3rd time this match where Taylor has made the overlapping run. Maeda's seen him, played the pass into space, and then Taylor stops. Doesn't try and cover it. It's so pathetic, man. Like, I love Greg Taylor. He's a brilliant player, but holy shit, can you try, lad? I could have ran for that. And again, he just punts it forward. He's not looking for any type of consistency in his play at all. Got to say, there's one player that needs his head wobbled in the second half. It's definitely Greg. Best player on that pitch by a mile is Maeda, because he's the only one that's really trying to run at them. This is why I'm saying we should have started Yang. We need energy, we need bite, we need power, and if we're going down the wing route, we need to run fast. Fair enough, can't argue with that somewhat. That's a little awkward from Nowitzki to leave it. Hart cuts it back across for his man, which is nice. That's actually very good. Hart's looked very composed today. He hasn't had much to do, admittedly. He's had next to fucking nothing to do. How's that not a foul? Maeda has been bundled over. Fair enough, can't argue with it. He must have won the ball. Not forward for Armstrong. There's some hold. But that's a foul. That was the exact same tackle as 6 seconds ago. Why is the same fouls for fucking KIllie being given that other ones have not been given for us. Kind of confused at that one. If he pulled on him 5 seconds ago, how the fuck can he do it back and that's when the foul's given? Was it for retaliation? I honestly don't know. You just need to do smarter investments, guys. I've said it time and time again, you need squad depth to build on. You don't need key big signings. You need a solid foundational base to build off of. You've got some players that can do that for Rangers, like Danilo, he's been alright, and that Lammers. But that Sima, all of those fellas, they were a waste of fucking time. I don't even know why you just brought them in. There's a ball across. Hart's going to collect it, thank God for that. He didn't spill it, because if he did, it was right into the path of about 3 or 4 shots in blue and white. Quick exchange. Ralston really needs to try and pick a pass out of any fucking month this year. Does eventually get it to Lagerberg. Let's see where he goes. Straight out to the wing again. That seems to be the preferred passing method. Greg Taylor doesn't quite have the shape that he wants to set on it, so just, yeah, get out towards that right hand side. That's one of the few times where I can say that was the smart call. He's getting over encumbered quite a lot there. Eventually gathers it. There could be a run down that left hand side again if we want to try and take that option, but instead just plays it short for Taylor again. Just going side to side, not necessarily forwards or backwards. Just trying to pick a hole in Kilmarnock's midfield line, but they've, again, one thing you can say is that they've held it up. They've had that shape perfectly the entire time, you know what I mean? I noticed we're a second half team. Yeah, very much, Shane. That's why I kind of wanted us to get that first half goal, because I mean, it would just do good to take the pressure off, because once, it's kind of like whenever you play a game of FIFA, you know what I mean? Like, you'll miss every single shot 20 in a row, but as soon as you score that first one, you'll score the second shot after it and the next shot after that. It's just getting the first one over the line. Kilmarnock are a very frustrating team when they want to be, but it's not to their discredit, it's how they have to play. There is a good ball into the box. Abada does just try to get the quick cross away. It's going to deflect away for a corner kick. He should never have been let go one more season. Nah, I mean, as much as I like Hayes, he was never really the option. You know what I mean? Bernabe, he should come on and get minutes, because we need pace and energy up that wing, so I hope Bernabe comes on and gets some minutes. There's a ball in from the corner kick. Isn't going to find anyone. A KIllie player stayed down. Eventually gets back onto his feet. Celtic have galled it in the inside line, and they're going to... I'm sorry, what the fuck are they giving away fouls for now? Even Holmes laughing, because, I mean, literally, KIllie player goes up onto him, pushes him, Holmes stands his ground and pushes him back. KIllie player falls over, instant foul for KIllie. You're not allowed to use your strength now. Fair fucks, I guess. Right, KIllie keeper's going to punt it long. Let's see where that one decides to go. He's a real leader of players. What are you talking about, Johnny? He was he's an international level goalkeeper if you're talking fucking senior team nowadays, you know what I mean? Ooh. But there's always pure legendary players that you think of over time. I mean, like, one of the most underrated players that I will always talk about is Frank Ribery. Like, see the amount of people that you speak to that are like 10, 12 years old, you're like, oh, do you remember Frank Ribery? And they're like, who? I don't know who he is, he sounds shit. And you're like, he was the greatest man to ever play football for a while. What are you talking about, man? Literally looked like a fucking hunchback of Notre Dame, but the boy could ball. Taylor's got it. Let's see where we're going with this. I've literally, every attack has started on that left hand side, and I'm starting to feel really bad for Maeda, because he's getting the ass ran out of him for nothing. Because anytime he gets up towards that space, he's under pressure by about 2 or 3 shots in blue and white. But if he does win the ball, no one's there to get off that, you know, inside run to give him an option to pass it to. Like, Taylor just does not look like he gives a shit. I know he used to play for Kilmarnock, so there might be a little bit of a there, but come on. Maeda's, again, he deserves so much credit for the first half. He's the only reason that this is watchable right now. Good ball forward. Let's see where this one decides to go. Played short for Leo. eventually goes back towards Nowitzki and he'll just exchange it into that midfield space. Let's hope for something here. Thiago home and behind Maeda. Good first touch again, but it just doesn't get it under control in time. And lmao for the 500th time manages to get in front of Maeda and cause it away. Taylor's, I wouldn't say Taylor's shit. I'd just say he's underperforming in this particular game. He has had moments. It's bouncing around from the corner. It's not going to find anyone though. KIllie are just more than happy to clear the lines, and I think they'll probably just want to try and get into half time with their 0-0 intact. Which I'm not exactly a big fan of, because, I mean, look, Celtic have had chances, but, you know, it's more like chances.